Hi everyone, it's Chrissie and welcome back to the channel and welcome back to yet another Sims 2 speed build, because yes, I have been on I've very much been on a Sims 2 kick at the moment. So yeah, you're getting another Sims 2 speed build today. So today we're actually in the university world. We're in one of the university worlds, I guess I should say, because in the Sims 2 you have three. You have Sim State University, Lafayette Tech, and Academy Le something, Le Tourne something. I think it's a very French sounding word, so that's why I can't pronounce it, and I'm not even gonna try. But yeah, you have three university worlds in The Sims 2, and we're actually in Sim State University because this is another build that I'm doing for, I guess, what you could call my building Pleasantview series. Even though it's not really a series, I'm kind of just building stuff as I need them for my Pleasantview playthrough, because I'm playing with Pleasantview on a rotational save. So occasionally I will need new buildings. I'll need new community lots or new houses, or in this case a new dorm. So yeah, we're actually building a dorm today, as you guys could have probably already seen from the title and all of that stuff. But yeah, we're in Sim State University because that's actually the one that I'm kind of using for all of my university, I guess you could say, needs. So whenever one of my Sims need to go to university, I always use Sim State University for Pleasantview at least. So I'll usually use the universities that I guess kind of make sense depending on what neighborhood I'm playing in. So for Pleasantview, obviously it's Sim State, but when I'm playing in maybe Strangerville, it's not Strangerville is the Sims 4 world. Strangetown, if I'm playing in Strangetown, I'll usually use the Lafayette Tech one, because that neighborhood, or not the neighborhood, but that kind of I guess you could say campus, the surrounding areas for it and the world that it's in basically is a little bit more desert, arid, very much fits with the Strangerville look, I guess you could say, whereas Sim State fits with, I guess you could say, the environment of Pleasantview. And then I'll use the Academy something one that's, like I said, a lot more French sounding. I'll use that one if I'm playing in Veronaville, for example. So usually I try and do that just to make it seem like, these are the schools that are, I guess you could say, closest to the worlds that I'm playing in. But yeah, so we're actually building like I said, a dorm today, and this one isn't as big as the previous dorm build that I've done. I've done a dorm build for this, I guess you could say, rotational save honestly, I think it's been a few years since I did that one, because I've been playing this save for years at this point. I've been playing the save probably, at least for 3 years. And I don't usually, it sounds really, really weird when you say that, but I play all of the families in Pleasantview. So I play rotationally, and I'll play a week with one family, a sim week with each family. And obviously, as they have kids and they get married, those families they keep getting more. I keep adding families to the rotation. So there's, at this point, I think 11 or maybe 12 families that I play through. So it takes me a while to get through I guess you could say, one rotation. And also, I don't play The Sims 2 every day. I go through these phases, like I've said before in some of my Sims 2 videos. I go through these phases of playing The Sims 2 where I'll play it and I don't want to play anything else for weeks at a time. And then I'll kind of get over it in a way and go back to The Sims 4, or maybe I'll realize that, hey, I should probably be getting back to The Sims 4, and then I'll go back to it. But I'm not usually able to hop between games. If I'm playing The Sims 2, I can't play The Sims 2 and The Sims 4 on one day, if that makes sense. My brain just doesn't want to do that. So I go through these phases of only playing The Sims 2 or only playing The Sims 4, and that's why sometimes you guys get these Sims 2 videos and sometimes you don't. But I know a lot of you actually really like these Sims 2 videos, because The Sims 2, I feel for a lot of Simmers, The Sims 2 is a very nostalgic thing. A lot of us this was, you know, for a lot of people were maybe too young to play The Sims 1, or maybe they didn't know about it and they only found out about the Sims franchise when The Sims 2 came out. So The Sims 2 was their like first Sims game, or, you know, maybe it's just the game that really got you hooked on The Sims, like it was for me. So yeah, a lot of people have a very nostalgic thing with The Sims 2, which I definitely relate to. But yeah, so this is, like I said, a dorm. It's not as big as the one that I did before. I did the Alto, I believe I called it the Alto dorms or something. I'll leave that video linked on the screen. But that one was really big. I think it had like 10 rooms, I think, if I'm remembering correctly. I know with dorm buildings, you can have a crap ton of Sims staying in one dorm. Like, I think I read somewhere that someone tested it and they had like 30 rooms in a dorm and all 30 rooms were occupied. Like, you know, the dorm buildings, they are really like, they're really versatile as well, because with The Sims 2, like, the same with apartments almost, but if you have your Sims and they move into a dorm, for example, like say I'm playing with 3 Sims and they all go to university at the same time, and they all move into this dorm, then, you know, they'll use 3 of the rooms because you have to claim their room. You have to use these special doors where they claim the door. So basically they claim the room as their own, so another Sim won't go and like sleep in their bed or whatever, and you can lock the doors so that it won't even go in there if you don't want them to. So yeah, you have to do that. But if you claim 3 of the rooms for your Sims, then the other rooms in the dorm will be claimed by random Sims, like random university Sims that the game will put in here. And however many doors you have, like if you have like 30 rooms in a dorm, like 30 bedrooms in a dorm, and you have 30 of those doors like on each of the rooms, the game will put in 30 Sims. Like, it will do that. Like, it has no problem with doing that. Same with apartments. Like, you can have a absolutely obscene amount of like apartments on a lot. Like, I believe it's also been like, I think I read somewhere someone did like 50 or something, like 50 really small apartments on like a really big lot, and the game filled all of them. But with apartments, obviously you can only play with 4 families, so you can have 4 different families living on the same lot and be completely separate, and they physically count as separate families, but they all live on the same lot, so they can all live in like the same complex or apartment building or whatever, but you can only have 4. Same with dorms. In dorms, obviously you can only have the amount of Sims playable that you can have normally, so 8. So if I wanted to play with 8 university students, I can have all 8 of them in the same dorm, but there needs to be a room for each of them. So the Sims can't share rooms in The Sims 2. They can't like share they can't have like, I guess you could say shared dorm rooms. They also can't have like shared bathrooms, for example. If you have like 2 rooms and you want them to have a Jack and Jill bathroom, you can't do that. You can, however, like I did in this dorm, have a bedroom that has its own separate bathroom. So the 2 dorm rooms upstairs, there's 5 of them upstairs and 2 downstairs. But the 2 on the sides, like right on the sides of the dorm, they're kind of like the biggest, and both of those actually have their own separate bathrooms that obviously if you claim their bedroom door and you lock it so no one else can enter it, no one else will use their bathroom either. So you can do that, but you can't have 2 regular doors connected to a bathroom that other Sims can access, if that makes sense. I'm doing a really bad job of explaining it, but yeah, you can't like do shared dorm rooms. You need to have like 1 Sim per room, if that makes sense, because it's 1 Sim per door. So yeah, that's kind of how it works. And you can't have 2 doors going into the same room. It doesn't work. So yeah, that was a really bad explanation, but I hope it made sense. But yeah, so if you want to play with dorms, you can have like 8 playable Sims, and if you have a dorm room that has like 16 rooms and you have 8 Sims, they'll claim like 8 of the rooms, and then the game will generate 8 other Sims to like be in the other 8 rooms that's still empty. So that's really, really cool. It's really nice. It makes these dorms feel very, very lively as well, because there's constantly people around. There's constantly students that, you know, the game townies, the game students that they randomly put in these dorms, they will actually go and work on their skills in the dorm. They will study, they will do their assignments, you'll see them go to and from class, and you know, it's very lively. It makes it feel very alive, and like there's constantly stuff going on. And also you will have you have a kind of like a requirement for a dorm, is obviously those dorm like doors for your Sims to claim, but also you need to have that specific stove and those counters in a dorm building, because that specific stove actually spawns a kind of like cafeteria person. So someone that will come in, they'll make food, they'll put it out so that the students can get it and all of that stuff. So that is a requirement. You need to have that on a dorm. But other than that, the dorms are very free flowing, if that makes sense. So you can have, like, if you want to build one, you can have each bedroom have their own separate bathroom, as long as it's not accessible from anywhere else other than their bedroom. You can do that. You can have only like public bathrooms. You can have private. You can you could probably do something like a fancy, very, very fancy dorm where it's like a suite, and each bedroom has like their own kind of like almost studio apartment vibe, where they have their own kitchen, their own bathroom, their own living space. You could do that. That could actually be really fun, and now I kind of want to do that, thinking about it. But anyway, I'm getting way off topic. So yeah, those are the only, like, I guess you could say, requirements for a dorm. You don't need to have a fridge, you don't need to have a microwave or a like coffee maker. I just put them in for like realism purposes and because it felt nice. And also, if you have a fridge, then your Sims can come and they can make their own food if the cafeteria person isn't there, because they do go home at the end of the night. But yeah, so if you want to have your Sims make their own food, they can. And I also try to put in a couple of like skill building items. So I put in a bunch of bookcases. I put in a couple of computers as well, because Sims will need to write like their term papers and stuff. So I put those in. I put in a couple of chess tables and art easels, just so that they could get some of their skills up. I didn't put in any workout equipment like I did in my previous dorm building. In my previous dorm, I did like a whole separate gym room for your Sims. I didn't do it in this one, mainly because I figured this dorm would be the older one. Like, it would be one of the oldest ones on campus. And that's why I called it Old Sim Estate Dorms, because I wanted it to look, on the outside, I wanted it to look like maybe it used to be a really big fancy house, like a really big manor house. And whoever maybe like started the university or like founded the university, they decided to convert this manor into a dorm building for students. So that's why I wanted it to look very homey and kind of like warm and not super commercialized, if that kind of makes sense. My previous dorm is, again, it's a very nice, like, I guess you could say, example of what I mean when I say commercialized. Like, it's done on a much bigger scale. It's done in a way where it feels like this was specifically built to be a dorm. Whereas this one, I wanted it to feel a little bit more like, you know, maybe it used to be a house and they have gone in and they've renovated it. So there are a couple of communal bathrooms. We have this one downstairs with the stalls and then the showers in a separate room. And then we have another one like it upstairs as well. And then obviously those 2 bedrooms on the sides have their own bathrooms. But this dorm has a total of 7 bedrooms. So yeah, like I said, there's 5 upstairs and 2 downstairs. The three of the ones upstairs are a little bit smaller, and then we have the 2 bigger ones with their bathrooms. And then downstairs we again have 2 slightly bigger rooms as well. They don't have their own bathrooms, but they are slightly bigger. They're literally like mirror images of each other. But yeah, so that is basically this dorm. So it's a lot smaller, like I said, than my previous one. My previous one, I think, had like 10 dorm rooms in it, whereas this one, like I said, only has 7. But I kind of like that because I felt like it made sense with the whole, like, it's one of the oldest buildings. It wouldn't be absolutely gigantic and like have like super tiny, like squished rooms. This one has, you know, more nice sized bedrooms. They're quite nice sized, so I felt like that just made more sense. And also maybe this one is a little bit more expensive to move into. Like, it's not like cheap because the rooms are a little bit bigger. Some of them have their own bathrooms, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So obviously in The Sims 2, moving into a dorm when you go to university is completely free. So any sim can do it. You don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay anything. But, you know, it just, realistically speaking, this would probably be a more expensive dorm to move into, if that makes sense. So yeah, or maybe this is for like upperclassmen, or I don't know how it works, but, or how it would work in real life, but that's just what I was thinking for The Sims. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed how this turned out. I tried to keep the bedrooms themselves, I kept them very basic. So they each just have a bed, a dresser. They have a desk in them as well that I didn't put a computer on, obviously, because I wanted it to be more like, you know, this is where your Sims would do their assignments and their homework and stuff. So yeah, each room literally just has the exact same bed. I changed up the bedspreads a little bit later just to make them a little bit more different, but they're still very basic. And then, yeah, they just have a dresser, they have a mirror, a desk, an end table, and that's it. So I tried, like I said, to make them very basic. I do put in a couple of things on the walls, like a corkboard, or maybe like somewhere where they would hang their keys. I put in a couple of pride flags in a few of the rooms. I think in 3 of the rooms I put a couple of pride flags that are actually custom content, obviously, but they're conversions of the Sims 4 pride flags. So I really like that. So I did that in a few of them. And yeah, that is basically going to be it for this build. There isn't a lot of outdoor space either. In the front, I do put down like a fire pit thing where they can gather, and then I also put down a couple of tables and chairs, but there's no like real outdoor space. I do put in a telescope at the back of the build, just to, in the back corner of the build. I don't know if I did that on camera or not, but yeah, I did do that just because, you know, it's nice for your Sims if they're into like logic or whatever. They can watch the stars or whatever, or summon aliens if that's something that you wanted to do. But yeah, I have playtested this entire build. I did play in it myself with my save recently, so I playtested all of it very thoroughly. I actually wanted to do some like relaxing Sims 2 gameplay, and then I ended up having to have like, I think it was 6 or 7 students at once that all needed to be in university at the same time, because that's just how my aging works. So yeah, I ended up playing with like, I think it was 6 students in this dorm, and it was absolutely chaotic trying to keep up with everyone and all of their assignments, and it was insanity. But it was a lot of fun, and it means that this build is very thoroughly playtested. So yeah, you won't have any issues with that. But if you want to download it, I will have a download link in the description. I also have a list in the description, a Google document list, where I list all of the CC creators that I used, as well as all of the frequently asked questions that I get about cheats and mods and all of that stuff. So definitely go ahead, check that out. But if you like this video, give it a like. If you're new to the channel and want to see more Sims content, feel free to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell as well to be notified of whenever I upload a new video. We're not going to be doing a tour at the end of this. We're going to be doing screenshots just because it is Sims 2. But yeah, we're going to be doing that, and I just want to say a huge thank you to all of my amazing channel members for all of your support. It truly does mean the world to me, and I appreciate you all so much. If you want to find out more about channel memberships, click the join button next to the subscribe button for more information about that. But I hope you're all having a great day and a great week, and I'll talk to you all in my very next video. Bye everyone.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high, even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know, if I'll ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for